Top 10 biggest Kickstarter scams in the world. Crowdfunding is the process of funding a multitude of small-scaled business ventures, typically performed by raising minute amounts of cash from the generous and giving. This is mostly performed through the internet, Kickstarter being a funding platform and has mostly certainly contributed to the concept of crowdfunding to very a large extent. Kickstarter an application to protect your creativity onto the public crowd, get it reviewed, and if you are lucky enough, gain investments from the interested and willing to flourish and better. You're certain this has served to be quite well, but the internet has never served to be a safe place, has it? Scammers are now increasingly performative with their techniques, especially due to easily gained anonymity on the internet. Kickstarter hasn't been preserved from these confidence tricksters either, due to it being an entirely funding-based application. No opportunity could have been assigned to them better than this. Number 1. Scrap Laser Razor. A self-explanatory as it sounds, Scarp's laser razor had claimed to revolutionize your shaving experience by tenfold. It preached upon a newer concept, uncommon to the civilians, to confirm the idea of their customary mutiny. It was initially a laser that contributed to remove hair, customarily presented as a daily essential. Human hair is alleged to contain certain chromophores. These structures exist in your skin as nanoscopic particles that absorb wavelength of light. Upon absorption, these chromosomes permit their follicles to be cut and fall off after they come into contact with a specific wavelength of light. Scarp Technologies initially launched this razor while claiming to be the maintenance of a unique prototype. The video representing the product on the firm's official site granted title to be no confidence from the skeptics and the potential investors. Kickstarter stepped in and took charge against the revolutionary razor's capable establishment to be an inherent fraud. The company had no initial prototype and was involved in a threat of violation of a variation of measures. It has until now raised a steady $500,000 in funds. Number 2. CST01. Central Standard Time was launched in 2013, portraying itself to be the world's thinnest watch. It has come quite a long way, and oh boy, the way all these delays amount to a massive while withholding its investors while it actively struggled to find the correct technology for the watch's initial release. The firm by the year 2015 released a statement updating upon the watch's structural development and how far it had come until now. The company had announced it's departed from its initial manufacturer, which had been working with the making cost of little of its progress. CST had declared bankruptcy just after a year of releasing their previous statement. This proved the unlikelihood of the establishment backers to receive the money they had invested in the watch development, solely all sourced from Kickstarter. This may have not originally been intended to play out as a scam. The company would have been at no fault in itself. The manufacturer's withdrawal may have had the upper hand in the watch's downfall. However, that certainly does not excuse the money the firm's backers had invested. Number 3. iBackpack. The advertising for the backpack had an extensively believable format of it, containing millennials happy receiving the product, with diagrams and attractive concept explaining the purpose and use. The backpack claimed to store, charge, provide hotspot and containing an elaborate amount of space left behind to store the required items to carry. The company, apart from Kickstarter alone, raised up to a hefty $720 in the year 2015. It was considered to be vastly successful and gained quite a lot of attraction from the public and the multinationals. The backpack, its YouTube videos, the advertisements, and any and every form of communication with its officials was entirely ceased. Caused quite a lot of chaos. It felt as if it never existed. Later on, after an extensive while after the backpacker's disappearance, the company came forward confirming that the backpack ran into a series of problems with its battery. The company backpack does not seem to be making as a comeback within any time soon, leaving behind an extensive amount of unhappy investors and critics. Number 4. Cube Rod. Project offering Cube beef jerky that's claimed to be so good you would be licking your fingers in public, or whatever the text testimonials consists of the product. The product was supposedly the world's first Japanese beer-feed beef jerky. This idea served to be capable enough of exploiting $120,000 just in the form of pledges, funded from 3,252 backers. The scheme never confirmed the idea of the jerky's creation or how it would be done. Rather was no form of proof to the investors apart from their jolly advertised placements on the TV to grab the attention of average civilians. This was probably done to swindle larger and further sums of investments to aid their fraud. The establishment responsible for the scheme, Magnus Fun, proposed the idea of the jerky offering three varying flavors: lemongrass, sweet spicy ginger teriyaki, and smoked honey with spiced curry. Kickstarter took down the page regarding the organization's ad placement. However, luckily enough for the backers, Kickstarter had spotted in before any payments were proceeded. Number 5. Zeno, an autonomous drone. Torquing, the creator of the following project, attempted at building a tiny drone that was supposedly autonomous, intelligent, and swarming, despite drones being in the market for quite a while. This scheme, upon its launch, caused a stir among the people and gained popularity instead of containing the variety of inconvenient controls and a complex structure. The drone would contain a camera and would supposedly follow you around for all full 15 minutes per takeoff. If it sounds too good to be true, it mostly definitely is. The project pledged up to a $3.4 million amount from 12,000 backers of the application. What truly triggered the establishment's downfall was the mismanagement of the drone supplied, where the company committed to sending off drones to the customers that pre-ordered first, rather its backers. They committed to most of the company's investment. The drone promised an obstacle avoidance system installed. Number 6. The Cooler Master. This was initially designed by Rain Gripper, who aimed to introduce a thermally insulated water cooler. The product was quite successful with no defects whatsoever. However, what really contributed to its downfall was its assigned shipment time. The product was quite pricey. A cooler for a whopping $450 is quite a lot. However, it was still very frequently bought. About 20,000 backers were put to wait for the entirety of 2 years to receive their desired products. Ryan's second attempt to relaunch his product served to be massive success. He, upon launching, amazed a hefty $1,328 billion from up to 62,000 backers. The product's delivery period was yet to change, considering how by late 2017 the consumers were informed upon a further 3 years of delay for their product to arrive. That's 6 years just to attain your desired product. Rain's company has predicted to go bankrupt by the time the coolers clearly arrived. Number 7. The Pebble campaign, also encountered to be history's most large-scale Kickstarter failure. Pebble was founded by Eric Mikovce. The company started off with the idea of a smartwatch company, which had broken records for sale in itself. This, however, didn't serve to be anything favorable at all. The company was in massive debt. It kept losing money without any profit attained. Number 8. Oh Yeah. Conceived and brought into being entirely by Julie Urham, this console was equivalently a source of success as well as disaster. Almost all the Kickstarter's calamitous past occurrences. The campaign managed to amaze up to $8.6 million in plain pledged by 63,416 backers. The sluggish nightmare costed $40 per piece and served to be a cheaper than an average unregistered Android tablet. The Oya was reported to be meagerly and inexpensively designed through and thorough, with its controllable buttons promulgated to stick upon use. The console itself had a little to no internal functioning capacity, considering how it's ironically being a console. Similarly to any other Kickstarter disaster, Julie committed to rather focusing on further sale of the console by putting them in market. Number 9. The Holus 3D display. Another self-explanatory project launched by product creator H+. This was a 3D holographic display technology, and Holus, created in 2015, was built upon false claims and utter lies. The idea behind this tech preached that the images would appear in a 3D in real time as a holograph. The project was disadvertised and claimed a fictional way of function when clarity in real life. The product barely performed even a quarter of what it had publicized. This campaign gathered up to $297,790 from a range of a mere 496 backers and was the main source of people getting robbed by this hyperbole. Number 10. LA Games Space, a platform created to discover the series of games suited to your best need or taste. The organization is, however, still yet to be active and expected to host its game as soon as possible. The creator of this project concluded the chaos by announcing how they had returned about 99% of promised rewards of its generous backers, which was certainly off-putting, considering how the last update from the company was dated to be September 2013, where it declared to be in the state of work in progress. Following these were the list of the top 10 Kickstarter scams that came off to be completely unexpected and were reported to have caught a massive group of people off guard. Each time is a matter of revolving money. If you are interested in investing, even through a registered official platform, running a background check onto your chosen creator should be considered an obligation. And if you are unfortunately a victim of one, report to the Federal Trade Commission without any further delay.